All right, we're going to take a look at installing the graphing calculator onto our Chromebooks. So, first thing I need you to do is go out to Google Classroom. And select the class that you are in. Now in this case I'm just going to be using Geometry 9. If you were in FST, College Algebra, or Pre-Calc, it would be the same thing. Just go out to that course. So, once you get here, you are going to find somewhere in the assignments and announcements, you'll see the information for Chromebook Wabbit Emu. So, click on that. Now, next thing you're going to see is this window. We need to download it, so we are going to go over here to the little download arrow. Click on the download arrow. Next window comes up. Tells you, hey, it's too large, no big deal, download anyway. So we click download anyway. This window pops up. This is the download window. It tells us, hey, this is what we've got, Windows or Chromebook Wabbit emu.zip, save, hit save. Now I highly recommend that whenever you're downloading a file like this that you go through and let it download completely and totally by itself. Don't go and be doing anything else. Now, it tells us that the download is complete. Show in folder. So we're going to click that, show in folder. So the next thing it opens up is our folder. This is all the storage that we have on here. And you'll notice that we have Chromebook Wabbit emu.zip. Now, .zip is a compressed archive. Takes all the information, shoves it into a nice little box so it's easier to download. It's not as large. So in order to get this out and put it on the Chromebook, we are going to need to extract that. So we're going to click over here and tell it to open. Now you'll notice that it popped up down here. So what we've got now is it's mounted this archive. It says, okay, what's all inside of it? We take a look and it says Chromebook Wabbit emu, just a folder. Now whenever you have something like this and you want to see what's in it, over on the left hand side you've got these little greater than signs or pointing downward, however you want to look at it. If I click on that, it tells me, hey, this is what's inside of it. If I click on this, it tells me, hey, this is what's inside of it. So what I want to do is click on the Wabbit emu folder. There are going to be 3 things in here. 2 folders and 1 file. What we need to do is copy these folders over to the downloads. Yes, they're downloaded, but I need to have that information available that's in the folder. So it's really just going to take it out of the box and put it there for our use. So I'm going to grab Wabbit emu, drag it to downloads, and you'll see it's copying it. Do the same thing with the Vladikov Archon. Click on it, drag it over to downloads, and drop it. Now when you're copying files like this, again, don't do anything else. Just let it do the copying. That way it's less chance that it's going to come up with some type of an error that you end up having to redo the whole situation over again. And there are a lot of files in here, so it does take a little bit of time for it to go through and copy all that information over. Okay, so now that it's copied all of that information over from those 2 folders, I need to deal with this ROM file. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take a look at Google Drive, and I see that it's opened. I click over here to open up my drive. I click open here and I see Classroom, and I see the folder for Geometry 9. So what I want to do is I want to copy this file, or take that file, put it over in Geometry 9. So I'm just going to grab the file, drag it over to Geometry 9. Okay. So now it is available. If I were to click on the Geometry 9 folder, I see that that file is there. So now I've got everything onto the computer itself. I'm going to click this off. Back on my web pages, what I want to do next is go to these three little dots that are up here. Click on the three little dots. You'll see that it gives us this menu. I want to go to More Tools and go over here and down to Extensions. So what we're going to do is we're going to be working with the extensions. So we're going to click on it. Now, you'll notice that there's a bunch of stuff here, and yours might look like this. Okay? There's no little bar up there with any information on here. Yours has developer mode turned off. It might be turned on if you've installed this before. But what we want to make sure is that this is on. So where it says developer mode, we want to make sure that the button is over here. We need to have it on, because we're going to be using the command for loading the unpacked extensions. So what we're going to do is adding extensions to Chrome. So we hit Load Unpacked Extension. And you'll notice it takes us right to the downloads. So the first one that we want to go through and load is Vladikov Archon. So we hit Open. Okay, now we'll see that the Archon custom runtime is sitting there. We go back to Load Unpacked Extensions again. And we click on the Wabbit Emu. We hit Open. Okay. Now, I don't see it, but if we scroll down, Wabbit Emu is right here. And we got the details, remove errors, reload, and it's telling us that it's on. So what we can do now, click off, let's close all of our browsers. We go down here, and we'll notice that it says Wabbit Emu. If I click on it, now this opens up. Takes a few moments for it to get going, and then it wants us to select a folder to open. What we need is that ROM. Now we can't have a folder in the downloads, it doesn't work very well. So we click over here, My Drive, where we had Geometry 9, and we just click on the Geometry 9. As you see, the ROM file is in there, so it's ready. So we hit Open. Gives it a few moments, and we see this. I already have a ROM file. Well, yes, you do. We hit Next. Tells us what the ROM file is. So we click on it, and now it loads it. Now, sometimes it'll go back to the setup, or sometimes it goes right here. If I click on this, I have the graphing calculator all set and ready to go. This graphing calculator works exactly the same as the ones that you get into the class.